Bonjour tout le monde, joli à c'est vendredi, il disait, et puis temps pour l'épisode of Round Shop Talks. Or, like I said last week, il temps pour conversation à Kabawea. Today, for our culture piece, I will be making you guys, or well, showing you how to make tamarind balls. So you've probably gone to the grocery store, you've seen the tamarind, and you've probably wondered, like, what can I do with this? So I figured that I would give you one example of what you can do with the tamarind. So what I did was I shelled a couple of tamarinds in this bowl here. And it's interesting because in St. Lucia, you get the tamarind fresh off the tree. And so they're not so dehydrated looking. So we're gonna work with what we got here because that's what we got. And so I'll show you how to peel the tamarind. So pretty much what you're doing is you're gonna crack it, right, like this. And don't worry, I'll clean it after all this. And you're pretty much just taking that outer brown shell off of the tamarind, like this. Then you'll notice that the tamarind has this like string right here. We don't want the string, so we're gonna actually just very easily pull the string out. And voila, we've got our tamarind that has been peeled. We'll do a couple more. And so tamarind balls is like a really sweet but sour treat that you find not only in St. Lucia but in other Caribbean islands as well. And it's pretty simple to make. Alright, so we won't make a lot because I actually have some already. So got this here. And because it's a little bit dry, I'm just gonna pour some. We saw online that you can actually pour some rum in it to kind of dehydrate it and make it a little easier to mix. So I'm just using a Bacardi Superior because I am not gonna use my good tamarind in tamarind balls. So I'm gonna add this, and what I'm gonna do is actually mix it because I want to get as much of the tamarind flesh off of the tamarind. I definitely prefer fresh tamarinds to this. A little bit, I think, like this in here. And you'll keep mixing it. And you're gonna add sugar and pepper. So you're gonna put a little bit of black pepper, and a little bit of white pepper. You guys, I don't have white pepper. And what you want to do is you want to mix it up till it comes together and forms a paste. Yeah, you got dirty hands. This is messy business, you guys. And so you add a ton of sugar in it. Since I'm not using a lot of it, I'm just gonna put a few dashes of the pepper. You don't make it too spicy, And so it's more to taste, I would say. And then you go back in and kind of like, oh, it's actually mixing a lot easier now that it has the sugar in it. I still love this as a kid. My mom used to make it, and she used to sell it. You know how you guys have heard the stories. So this was one of the things that she used to make to sell, and it was so good because it's like it's sweet with all the sugar, right? But it has like it's so tart because of the tamarind, And so you get both of these like crazy flavors in your mouth. And you basically just kind of keep mixing it. Let me see if I can rinse my hand off here and show you guys what we're doing. And then I'll show you what it looks like. Ooh, that is so good. I could probably put a little bit more sugar in there. And it's interesting because you don't taste the rum at all, because the rum is simply there to dehydrate your thing. So you have like a little paste like this. And of course, with more time, I keep mixing it, turn it into a paste. And what you end up with is, and then you form it into a ball like this. And to eat it, you basically would break it up. And you have the tamarind meat, as you'd call it, right here. And then the seed right here. And you just suck the seed. It is a yummy, yummy little treat. And if you're not interested in tamarind balls, you can actually turn tamarind into juice. What you would do is peel your tamarind, like I showed you, and put it in a container and pour over a couple of cups of boiling hot water. Let it sit for a couple of hours so it gets all nice and dehydrated, and you stir it up and you'll see that you can turn it into tamarind juice, and of course you sweeten it to your flavor. So hopefully the next time you're at the market, you are not going to be shy away from, you're not going to be like, wait, what do I do with that? You'll now know what to do with it, and you can give it a try. So, and of course, you guys know, if you live nearby and you want to taste it, my mom made some, so you won't be tasting my crazy mess right here. If you wanted to try it out, we can make arrangements so you can try it out, because I have a ton that my mom made and sent for us, because it is my son's favorite snack. Anyways, we're going to move on to the legal portion of the program today. And what I wanted to do is pretty much do a continuation of last week. So last week we talked about family protection planning, and why my practice is called, like, why my focus for estate planning. And I was kind of like talking to my husband about this, and ended up telling him this story, which I think you guys will find interesting and will really illustrate why, first of all, an estate planner is necessary for doing your estate plan, but also why estate planning is considered, at least for me, family protection planning. Anywho, a couple of years ago, I was hired to do a trust administration for this family. Mom had created an estate plan, and she had appointed her daughter as the trustee because the daughter was older. And for any estate planners out there who are watching this, they can attest to this. Hey, Kiwi. Parents always want to be equitable when doing their estate plans, and typically tend to want to have their eldest child serve without really thinking about what that would look like and what that would mean. Anywho, so mom appoints her daughter, eldest child, as the trustee. And hey, Kendall, happy New Year, you guys, welcome. And what ends up happening is mom passes away, and sister, with no experience at all, is now doing the job of a trustee. Son is frustrated. I'm good. How about yourself? Son is frustrated because he's like, it's been months. He hasn't gotten any notice. Thanks, Lovey. In California, when someone passes away, there are timelines of when things are supposed to happen, and usually within 60 days of death, you need to notify the trustees that they are beneficiaries of this estate, and you also need to send them a copy of the trust, or at least give them the opportunity to request a copy of the trust. So we are 6 months into this trust administration. The son has not heard from his sister, and as he's followed up, the relationship is starting to break down. She's getting upset. She is shutting down. He's getting upset and frustrated because he's not getting what he wants. And by the time I come in, the siblings are no longer communicating with each other. Now, when anyone you ask why they're doing an estate plan will tell you often enough that they don't want their children fighting. And here we are with a parent who created an estate plan, but her children are fighting. And so I step in and I work with the sister. I get the documents sent to me. We are starting to negotiate, hopefully moving toward an amicable resolution to what could potentially become the destruction of this family relationship. And I need to say that both parents had passed away, and the family was just the sister and the brother, and that was it. So for me, it was very important to try to preserve that relationship. Anyhow, I negotiated and got it set up where brother was going to meet sister at the house, at mom's house, and they were going to go in and try to sort out the things that were in the house. We call that tangible personal property, right? And I speak to the son the following week. I'm like, hey, did you guys meet? It must have been so great. And here's what I get. Well, right now, we are no longer talking. And in fact, it got worse because I wanted the table that I bought for mom, and she said she deserved to have the table. And instead of actually resolving this brother and sister were fighting over an old set of table and chairs. Now, that might seem ridiculous to you guys listening to this, but you would not believe how many people get caught up in fighting over the small stuff. The stuff that we would typically think when someone is alive is meaningless, all of a sudden gets this great import and becomes the most important thing. And we end up at in a point of not being able to move forward because we're fighting over this thing. And I think that was one of the moments when I was like, okay, as a planner, I really need to make sure that my clients are thinking through the decisions that they're making, and that really we want to highlight the importance of preserving the family relationship. And I think that was when my practice switched the focus of family protection planning, because here I was watching this family fight when there was an estate plan intact. They were fighting over stuff, stuff that will probably end up being stored somewhere, stuff that will end up being sold, stuff that really won't mean anything. So one of the things that I tell people when we're doing this process, and if you guys are looking to start your own processes, don't just switch to the default of who's going to be responsible. There's a lot that you want to think about, and sometimes it is better to not have your family be involved in the administration of your estate plan at all if already they're not getting along. Those are the kind of questions that I ask clients when they come in. What's the family dynamic? Do the children get along? Is there conflict that we should be aware of? Because we want to make sure that if there's conflict already, we want to bring someone in there to be able to manage that conflict. And so hopefully, as you guys are undertaking, there's a lot of conversation happening here. I'm going to respond to you guys afterwards. But if you guys are in the process of undertaking your estate plan, definitely think through those things and realize that when you're no longer here to keep your family intact, you want to make sure that you're putting in, you're creating a plan that will continue to preserve that relationship. And it comes down to a lot of the decisions that you make, but also the people put into the position to actually manage your affairs after you've passed away. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you learned something new today. For you guys who don't know how to deal with Tamarind, I do hope that you don't just walk past it at the grocery store anymore, that you now know how to use it. And what I will do is I will actually film how we make the juice, and then I'll probably post it online. So just kind of check my Facebook so that you can now learn how to make tamarind juice. I thank you for stopping by. Thank you for spending some time with me and checking out my show. We look forward to seeing you guys next week for another episode of Ram Shop Talks. Have a beautiful Friday and an amazing weekend. And if you guys in Southern California, it is warm. Like, this jacket is too warm. So enjoy the sunshine, because we never know when it's going to last. Bye.